Hi, I'm Kristen Pettet Rickards, and welcome to Miracle Stories. Today is a very exciting day. I have this lovely lady with me today. Her name is Claudine, and we are actually neighbors. And you probably can tell already she has a great personality. She just glows. But let me tell you, this woman is so generous and so loving and just a special person. You know, when you just meet those people and you're like, that person is special. Plus, she has a really cute dog. So, named Paris. I just love her dog. So Claudine has many miracles, and I asked her to share as we were talking the other day. She started sharing with me, and I was like, oh my gosh, you have got to share this with my audience because you're just an amazing person, and I know it's going to bless and encourage a lot of people. So without further ado, please welcome Claudine to just share a little bit about her miracle.
Oh, well, thank you. And the feeling is more than mutual. We met each other literally walking just in the neighborhood, and God blessed me immensely having you across the street. You've become a neighbor and a friend and a godsend. So when I look back on my life and I say, God has blessed me so much. And I said to him, through all these trials and all these miracles that I look back and didn't realize it at the time, I always said, Lord, if you get me through this, I will use my story to help others. I had other offers to get married, and I waited for the right man whom I thought I found. I really did. And it was hell from the beginning. I prayed to God for, I did, was to reveal to me the purpose. It was purpose. And then there was two words, purpose and plan. Because shortly after I was married, I was at work. I'm an attorney, and I was representing doctors in hospitals. You talk about miracles. And I was doing medical malpractice. Horrible pain, like down my left arm, terrible chest pain. But before this, mind you, for years, not knowing, I was getting very dizzy. I would have dizzy spells where I felt like I would pass out. My heart would race to the point that I'd be sitting just as I am now, and I felt like I just ran a marathon. And I'm at work, and a friend comes in and says, you don't look good. And I said, I don't feel good. I feel weird. I said, I don't think I'm having a heart attack. It's not that kind of pain. I said, I think I'm just stressed out. Well, she, God bless her, walked into the managing partner's office, who was a retired nurse. She said to me, if you don't get in the car, you're fired. And I said, okay, that's enough for me. And I just kind of went along with it, figuring, you know what, it'll get me out of the office. If nothing else, I go to North Shore University Hospital. There were 5 attendings waiting for me with a gurney. And I laughed. I said, you're all crazy. You're embarrassing me. I don't need all of you here. Like, please just check me out. Let me go. They put me on the gurney. They hooked me up to all kinds of things, you know, leads and everything all over my chest. And within, I would say it was pretty quickly, within 15 minutes, said, you need emergency surgery. You have something called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. You could go into cardiac arrest and die. Wow. And it could be any moment, kind of a thing. It could be days, weeks, or any moment. So I said, you're crazy. I want a second opinion. I left the hospital. The other partners at my firm, and again, MedMal, one of them called me and said, I got a hold of a doctor for you who specializes in this disease. You were to be in his office tomorrow. And I went. And his words to me were, I was with my mother. I will never forget this. I was 33 years old.
My age, wow.
And he said to me, I'm 52 now, but he said to me, he specialized in this. He was the preeminent doctor in this type of a condition. He said, number one, you're the youngest patient I have. My average patient's 65. Oh. He said, and this is the part that got me. He said, I can't believe you're still walking. And he said, by all, means, when I look at all your studies and everything, he's like, I can't believe you haven't gone into cardiac arrest yet. Which still to this day stays with me.
I bet.
He did a cardiac ablation, where they go in through the jugular and the groin, and I had an extra electrical pathway in my heart. So my heart could not beat. It was uncontrolled beating. So you have 90 beats per minute. Mine was like 175 or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was bad enough that I needed to have emergency surgery. So he said to me, not only do you need surgery right away, but it's in such a bad place in your heart. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. It's going to likely regenerate in 6 months, and you're going to need a pacemaker. And he said, you'll never be able to have natural childbirth. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm not going to be able to have a child, so it's like a non-issue. So I was blown away. I was terrified, but I still didn't think of the severity of it. You're awake during the procedure. I go in, and all of a sudden I hear him yelling, "Put her out, put her out." My heart was going into AFib, I think is what it was. And they had to knock me out. And I tell this story because it's actually kind of funny. The anesthesiologist comes right to my face and he says, "Claudine, just relax. We're going to knock you out. You'll be okay." I come out of surgery. I wake up. They're wheeling me, somehow, I don't know if they're wheeling me into recovery. Of course, I don't remember but I do remember this. My ex-husband's right next to me. The surgeon's on the other side of me, and the anesthesiologist is next to the surgeon. And the surgeon says, "You did great. You did not need a pacemaker. I think I got it." Now, I don't know how I remember that. I turned to my ex-husband and I said, "Did you see Dr. Cohen?" This is the anesthesiologist. He said, "Yes." I said, "He's gorgeous." Now, I kind of don't remember this part of it. My husband looks at him and says, "Yes, he's very good looking." So, God is good because, the anesthesia and everything else kind of made you forget how scared you were. Well, P.S. I was 33, I'm 52. It has not regenerated. I did not need emergency surgery. And I was on beta blockers forever, and I am now off of them. Wow. So it's been less than a year, but it was just as a precaution. I tell you that story, one of my miracles, to tell you this. And I get very choked up. So I went through hell in my marriage. It was abusive. It was demeaning. It is what it is. I prayed to God for a revival. I prayed for my ex-husband's soul. I prayed for him. I prayed for strength. I prayed to be a mom. I laid flat on the ground and I cried. I was home alone and I cried out to God. I said, "Please, please make me a mom." And I got pregnant with my daughter. Worst people told me it'll never happen. Beautiful, sweet child. And I do call her not only my miracle baby, but my reward for everything that I've been going through. Things stayed, and I thought things would get better in my marriage. They did not. And he turned on my daughter. And I said, "I've got to get out." I prayed for God to just give me guidance. What do I do? Do I stay? Do I go? But then when it was affecting my daughter, I couldn't let her think that that was normal. And God forbid, I didn't want her to be a victim. I heard a voice say to me, "I will be a light in your path and I will build a bridge under your feet."
Wow.
And I heard it, I heard it. And I wrote it down. And I said, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
And I held on to that. And God has not let me do. It brought me closer to him.
Yes.
Because when times are good,
Right.
okay, not everyone, I get complacent.
I think all of us do, Claudine.
Right? You get complacent and you say, "Okay,
Yeah.
do I need to go to church? Do I need to pray? Do I need to do my daily devotions? Do I need to,
Desperation is the formula for
Right.
that closeness and that fellowship with God. And I think what I hear you saying over and over is your perspective on things. And first of all, I know you say these are not big miracles, but I don't know about you guys, but hearing the thing about the heart and all that, that's okay. I'm like, that's a pretty big one. But I love what you're saying about every day. And it's so important to write those things down, to not forget them, to thank the Lord, because they're remembrance stones of how far God's brought you. Because the next time something comes up, then you're like, "Okay, God, you did this back then, so you'll do it again." We have to open up our minds to God's miracles sometimes look different.
That's right.
Maybe for the woman watching, maybe you pray for your husband, maybe he does, come to the Lord and has a revival.
Or maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't. But
Right.
what the miracle, that's the point, is the perspective of the miracle. You said about crying out to God, because he will hear and he will deliver you. Is there anything else that you would say that you would give that woman or man advice?
I will tell you, it is in those hours of desperation that you feel there's no way out. but there is. It's just not the way, or it's not our timing. It is not our way. It is God's timing. It is God's way. One word, trust. It's trust.
Yes.
Hold on to that. Hold on to his word. And I think that's what's so important in being a Christian is you need to lean into the word.
Yes.
And I took that for granted. And sometimes I still do. Listen, there are times where I should be picking up my Bible a heck of a lot more.
We all feel that way. And I just think it's so interesting. If you've watched the other miracle stories, it's so cool how God works because everybody is unique. Every story is unique.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that I'm telling you, every single person says about what you said about perspective, about the small miracles being really the big miracles, and leaning into the word and trusting, that everyone across the board says. And that is just like proof. It's like a big sign for us. This is something you should do, you know?
Absolutely.
So what do you say would be one word? I know this is going to be difficult to sum it up, but one word to describe your journey.
Purpose.
Yeah.
I believe that. I say, I still have my moments. There are things that still happen.
We're human.
And I say to I stop and I say, trust in him. He did not take you this far to just take you this far. God gave me a purpose. He gave me a purpose for living, and that was whether it's my child, my family, my friends, to help others. I mean, that's my biggest, want in life is to just use this to encourage others, because that's what I held on to, other people's stories. And I said, again, it's purpose, it's trust.
Well, Claudine, you're a great example of when you just allow yourself to have that perspective and be shaped by God and cry out to God, because it just shows without you saying a word. When I met you, seriously, it just shows just your kind heart. It just glows. Your love for God's love just radiates. And so that's such an encouragement, and it's such a great reminder. Thank you for reminding us the gift of perspective. Thank you for reminding us that God has miracles for all of us, and he's writing all of our stories in such an amazing way. And thank you for being such a wonderful friend. So grateful for you.
I am so grateful for you, and to God be the glory.
Absolutely.
Truly,
Thank you so much. Thank you,
so
Claudine.
much.
And thanks for listening, everybody. I'm sure you were encouraged today.